Welcome to the NAMB Podcast, where we bring you the voices that drive the mortgage industry. Join dynamic hosts Ginger Bell and Matt Shields as they dive into bold conversations with top experts, industry leaders, and change makers from across the country. From insider insights to game-changing trends, this is your front row seat to what's happening right now in the world of home finance.
Well, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the NAMB Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell, and today I have a very special NAMB strategic partner with us. So I'm excited to introduce to you, and that is Lyndsay Magre with Aduvo. Did I say all that right, Lyndsay?
You did. You got it all correct.
Yay, we're off to a good start. So I know you're the vice president of marketing for Aduvo, and for our listeners who may not know about what you do and the services you offer, why don't we just start off with there, and you can kind of share what it is that you do and the services you provide.
Yeah, so we like to position ourselves, call it like a relationship retention platform, because we really want to serve that need for our loan officer community, which is basically making sure that they're staying in front of their databases, making sure they're maintaining that relationship. And we do that through email marketing, some text marketing, and we make it all automatic. We make it hands-free. We try to make it easy for the loan officers that they don't have to worry about another platform. So they can trust, hopefully, right? They can trust in me that I'm writing the content within the platform and I'm writing it with them in mind. So.
Well, and I think in this day of AI, that's an important conversation to have because, you know, we've all jumped into having this brand new shiny tool that can help us to rate things. But I also know we're starting to see some pushback, and being authentic is very important. So, you know, right now we're in the middle of August, and it is a focus on broker independence. It's our NAMB anniversary, and August 23rd is our Broker Independence Day. And so, you know, having that individual conversation that's in their voice is very important. So, you know, what should mortgage brokers be looking at and when they're using AI and obviously a service like yours to know that they're getting that authentic voice?
I think one is AI is wonderful to use, right? We all know that it
Right.
makes all of our lives easier, right? But it is also one of those kind of platforms that is only as good as the information you give it, right? So it's a super important, and I know I've heard so many different marketers teach about this, but it's super important to teach it who you are, right? So you have to start from that standpoint. You have to go into that AI platform, whichever one you use. Not one of them is different in this regard. Is you have to teach them how you like to speak, who you are as a person, like correct it when it's wrong and tell it why, right? So it learns for the next time, because unfortunately, yeah, we do see so much of that out there right now I've started to see, like, we've all heard the term slop, right? AI slop.
Yeah.
And we've started to see it. So if you don't take that time to, yes, it's going to write for you. It's going to take that off your plate. But if you don't take the time, that still a little bit of time, it's, you know, may not be as much as it used to be, but that little bit of time to like edit it, right? Never ever trust the first thing it gives you, right? Question it. And I've heard this by a couple of people, but I have literally told mine, I go, you're not, like, don't be my friend.
Right.
Tell me the harsh truth.
Yep.
And it'll come back and say, okay, never mind. That was horrible. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it will. Yeah. Don't be nice to me. I want the facts. And I think that's important. You know, mortgage brokers have one thing that big banks don't have, or even big lenders, and that's that independence. And so from a marketing standpoint, what can they do to really turn that independence into a competitive advantage?
One is they have that almost closer relationship, right? With their partners, with their customers. A lot of times when we talk about those big lenders, right? They were behind a computer screen. And not that even as an independent one, you probably didn't do a lot of your work. You probably still do a lot of your work behind the computer screen, but guess what? You can get out from behind it. You have that luxury. You can walk away from that and you can go see somebody in person. You can go network in person. And don't lose that. Don't lose because it's easy to sit behind your screen. Don't forget to get out there
Right.
Right. And I know a lot of customers, especially the younger ones, if you're starting with those first time home buyers, they're sitting behind their computer and yeah, they're not going to want to get out as much. But the funny thing is with all of this, you're starting to see a shift back into in-person kind of things because people
Right.
are missing it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And that's
So,
really where you build those relationships, right?
yep.
I mean, every mortgage professional, it's like, hey, I have great service, I have great rates, and I care about my clients. But if everyone's saying it all sounds the same, so how does a broker actually stand out? And getting into the community is important. So, what are some of the things that they can do to go out into the community and to stand out?
I think one of the most underutilized, and I would say it's kind of two-part, and it's what I love and I'm passionate about it. I actually, even with my old company, we started a foundation around it
Wow,
that we're starting to get off the ground is lenders lending a hand. And
I love it.
literally is getting back out in your community, but like using those things like volunteering. We all do it in some way, right? We all either at our kids' schools or maybe we're passionate about pets. We all do it in some sort of little way, whether it's even donating money. And yes, we don't do those things for marketing. We don't do those things for our business. But start.
Yeah.
Because people do business with like-minded people.
Yep.
So they're going to see you and you're not doing it to brag and be like, look at me, how wonderful I am. You're doing it to get attention to that charity, right? They love that free media,
Right.
right? When you
Yeah.
say, hey, I just volunteered for, the Salvation Army or the pet parade or whatever it is, that gives them free advertising.
Right.
So they love it. They want to encourage others to volunteer. And plus then it drives in people who are like, oh my gosh, she loves dogs. So do I. I love dogs.
Right.
I want to work with somebody that loves dogs, right? It's that kind of like, I mean, yes, it's self-serving in a way, but at the same time, you're going to give back anyway. Might as well promote it. And I think
Right.
that's the easiest way to get back in your community without feeling salesy, without feeling like you're asking for something.
Yeah.
Right? It's literally just volunteer, like with an organization that you're passionate about, and you'll be
Well, and
surprised what it
timing that
does.
is so important. I had years ago someone who was doing volunteer work in their community there in Sacramento with a lot of dog shelters. And so they did a marketing campaign, the dog days of summer, and it's August, and they did a big charity event at a local dog park. And that was one of those things that they could use to get in the community, to expand their network, because they actually got a lot of realtors involved in it. Everybody came out with their dogs, and it creates those conversations. And that's really it, is just creating that stickiness where somebody
Yeah.
said, yeah, you love dogs, I love dogs, and they like seeing that. So you don't always have to talk about, I'm your mortgage person,
Yeah.
to be able to do that. But what makes a mortgage professional, and thinking about those tie-ins and things like that, memorable enough that a past client says to someone they know, hey, you need to call my mortgage person?
So I always look at a customer, and I always want everybody to look at their customer it's the 30-year customer,
Yeah.
right? We have a tendency to sometimes think that our customer is that 30 days,
Yeah.
right? Get them in,
Transactional. Yep.
right? Okay, next, because by nature we have the next deals and are ready to go, and we have to turn our focus,
Yeah.
right? But helping to understand that client is yours if you want them for life, if you can make them feel that way.
Yeah.
Right? From the beginning of the transaction to their next transaction. Doesn't stop at the end of the transaction. It's till the next one. And then you start it again. So it never ends. And I think making a customer feel special, right? And I know we all do it. We try to do it.
Right.
Sometimes life gets busy, sometimes, right? But it's everything from the personalized happy birthday to the personalized, closing gifts to all those kind of things that make that feel like, oh, you thought of me.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think are huge in getting that client to refer you. And I always say the first experience could be a fluke, right? That's
Yeah.
why a lot of times after the first time
Yeah.
you're like, well, they didn't refer me back anybody. They didn't refer me anybody. it's hard by nature. Like my degree's in psychology, and physical, like, oh my God, if I recommend them, what if they don't do as good of a job the next time
That
for my client?
transferred trust is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But if you give them amazing service 2 times, the chances escalate exponentially on the fact that they will refer you, because now it's not a
Right.
fluke. That's your
Yeah.
service all the time. So you have to come up with a process in your world that things can be repeatable.
Right.
So I always say automation,
Yeah.
right? Because you want the experience to be the same first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and
Yep.
you want it to be the same for all your clients.
Yeah.
So how can you create a system that will provide that for them? And let me tell you, they will come back and they will restart referring you. So
Well, in the system to stay in touch with them as well, because that's the thing. I was talking to someone the other day and they said that less than, I think it was around 33% of loan officers use their CRM
yep.
on a consistent basis. And so even though you might say, well, I don't want to bug them, sending something out once a month is not bugging them. It can
Yeah.
be, something about what's going on in the area. It can be, tips for getting ready for kids going back to school. I mean, I think realtors do a very good job of this, of staying in touch, and we kind of fall short on that.
Yeah. I'd say that a lot of people, I always say a monthly newsletter, right?
Yeah.
And I get a lot of pushback. Well, they don't care, or I want it to be all mortgage focused or all that. Let me tell you that your client, after their mortgage is complete, they probably don't think about their mortgage. I'm in the business and I have to remind myself what my rate is. And
Yeah.
I'm like in the business, and you should think I would
Yeah.
like be more on top of it, but I don't look at what my rate is. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't think about my mortgage until maybe the news tells me I should.
Yeah.
Or if my loan officer like sent out a message saying, hey, just FYI, yes, you might have saw in the news rates went down. That means a lot of things for different people. Reach out if you need. I'd be like, oh my God, thank you. Because I don't know. Do I need it? I don't even know what my rate is. Right.
Right.
So just staying on top of them. So that way, when they do, are like, wait, what is my rate? I can be like, ugh, and ask them their contact information is right there. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go digging for something that happened 5-6 years ago.
Right.
So
yeah, and we hear it over and over. Somebody runs into a grocery store. It's like, hey, it's so good to see you. How you doing? It's like, oh my gosh, I just refinanced my house, or I just bought a new house. And they didn't get in touch with you because they haven't been top of mind. It also helps for the referrals as well. Again,
yep.
staying top of mind. So, one of the things I often hear from loan officers is, I don't know what to post. I don't know, what I should do as far as, content. So if a broker had just 30 minutes a week, to really create content, what would you tell them to do?
Pick one platform.
I love it.
Pick one. I don't care where it is. I don't care what it is, but put your time and effort into one platform. When you master that platform and you got it down and it becomes a system, then think about moving to another, right? Now we do have a little bit of benefit that Facebook and Instagram connect, and you could technically be on both because you can post, at the same time.
Right.
So I will give that as the caveat. But really think about, I've done a branding class in the past, and to shorten it up is, who is your ideal client?
Mm-hmm.
Really think about that. And where do they live?
I like that.
Right? And be there, because you can speak to them. You're going to get other clients. Don't worry. You're not alienating anybody. Again, this is where, if you can give your ideal client the best experience because they're your ideal client, you love that person and you connect with them, they're going to start referring you out. Right? So it's going to come back to you, but it's easier to control content, right? Who am I speaking to?
Right.
Right? Because you're like, oh my God, it's first time home buyers. I love this. I know it. I'm going to be all over TikTok because I got this. Right? Or you're like, I had somebody in my past who was like, I love CEO businesswomen because they talk my language. I love how they think. Okay, you're going to get long form content and you're going to be on LinkedIn.
Yep.
You prepared for it? Great. That's where you're going to live.
Yeah.
Right. And you can dedicate that 30 minutes to that one really good piece of advice every week on LinkedIn. Perfect.
I love it.
So really try to focus. I get it. There's so much noise in the marketing world. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. Focus and get one thing correct, then move to the next.
Yeah. And so we've seen this huge trend of loan originators becoming brokers. And that's a big, big model. We had A.W. Pickle, who's a past president of NAMB, and he made a very daring prediction that he said, I think it was 70% of the market in the next 5 years will be controlled by independent mortgage brokers. And so, when you start your mortgage brokerage, and especially maybe you've come from a retail or, even from the banking side. And so now you're an independent mortgage broker. And I'm just going to say, hypothetically speaking, you have put aside, say, $5,000 for marketing. I say, okay, this is my budget. I'm going to focus on this for the next 90 days. What should they be spending that money on to make sure that that brokerage is impossible to forget? Where should they spend it, and what shouldn't they be spending it on?
Yeah. So first of all, again, it's where it comes in focus.
Right.
Everybody's different, right? Do you get your leads from realtors? Do you like internet leads where they're cold and you want to be the person that calls them first and not wait on a referral partner, right? Because the spend's going to look a little different. But for me and mine is like, one, get your branding down. Who are you?
Yeah.
Right? Spend a little money on a logo and some professional headshots. It doesn't mean you have to be in suit and tie and all buttoned up.
Yeah.
It's take a picture of who you are, but like, let's set that, tone from the beginning. Get a few different headshots, get a couple so there's a little bit of variety, but make sure they're good. They're not that fuzzy thing because of so much is being done via computer. You
Right.
want people to still see your face. You're the brand. That's the
Right.
benefit of going into the broker world is you are now the brand.
Right.
You're you get to sell you all day long. So spend a little money to sell you, right? Get that professional headshot, the logo, a professional website. Those are 10 times cheaper than they used to be. It sounds so
Yeah.
expensive nowadays. Nowadays, like, oh my gosh, you can spin one up, no problem, really fast, right?
Yeah.
But have that ability to someplace, to land. And then I would literally say, get your systems in place. Tech is worth it. Tech is worth it from top to bottom. Now, I'm not just saying that because I'm a tech person. I came from the retail world, and I would beg my, loan officers on that side to like invest in, we would offer some tech as the retail, like here's this. I would bet, hey, spend a little more and get this. This is a great service. This is a great platform. This is, so, that might depend again, like, are you doing leads? Because if you're buying leads and you want a good system to track those leads and get them in, so you're going to need a really good lead management system, all that kind of stuff. If yours more of the referral base, then you're going to need something that's communicating pre-post at with your referral partners, right?
Yeah. Don't forget those, because
Don't
those
forget them.
those are very valuable. So thinking about that too, what are those various different, vehicles that you're going to be getting leads from?
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of people do the Facebook and social ads, right? They're super inexpensive, fairly easy to manage from, a person that maybe doesn't have a huge background or doesn't have a lot of time. So Facebook leads, like if you're going to drive your own leads, that you can easily go there. It's also a fairly easy one to co-market with, right? And it's a fairly easy visual platform. So if you co-market with a realtor, it's great because they have the pretty shiny house that people want to look at and buy.
And nobody wakes up going, gosh, I really want a mortgage today.
Yeah. Nobody's looking at those numbers. Nobody wants to see a number flash across the screen. They're like, no.
Yeah.
But the house, they want to see that, right?
Yeah.
So definitely that's where, that comes in handy. If you want to go the social route, you're going to have those visuals, right? And so obviously partnering with a realtor, it's a great option. Zillow leads and realtor leads and all that, they've gotten a little out of hand in expense wise.
Yeah.
Do they still bring it in? And if you're good on the phone and if you're good in those kind of things, by all means, jump in. But there's really, unfortunately, not one platform that does it all, right? That's why you definitely have to kind of do your research and really research, because, and I'm coming from the side of it, I'm marketing products now, right? Is that everybody says promises big, huge things. And so really make sure you're getting demos, make sure you're, listening and asking the right questions for what you need, right? or
Right.
that they're asking the right questions about
Yeah.
what you need.
And can they
So
work together? There's a lot of
yeah.
things you can do with Zapier and API
Mhm.
connections to where even though they may not be designed to work together, you can get them to work together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
looking at that is important. So
Yep.
I like to go into a little lightning round right now because just some fun conversations. And this, you, I'm sure, have a great idea on this one. So educational content or entertaining content?
Both.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Why can't it be? Why can't they both why
Yeah,
can't they coexist? I always say two things can be true at once,
I love that.
right?
Yep,
So I think you find a way, and entertaining is different to every different people. Again, who's your target audience? What are they going to find
exactly.
entertaining?
Yeah,
So
and lean into your personality. So,
mhm.
if you are someone who has a sense of humor, don't be afraid to, be tasteful with it, but
Yes.
don't be afraid to lean into it a little bit too. Okay,
Yeah.
AI generated or personally created?
Oh, see, I'm going to sound like I don't know. I'm going to say both.
Yeah,
Because of time.
right.
I would always go personal, but with everybody with all the things that they have on their plate, they're going to have to use AI. But
Mhm.
please, 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 please try to use it as your base and grow from there. Don't use it as the finished product.
Yeah. Well, in the AI avatars, it's like there's the Hey Gen avatars out there now that can do the video for you. However, if you're mixing that in with what you're doing and you're pretending the AI is really you, people will start to see the difference.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the AIU is probably a little more polished than you are. So if you want to use that, it's okay to use it. Just make sure you're not passing it off as yourself, right?
Yeah. That exactly.
Yeah.
And you know that everybody's using it. So eventually if you can get to where you're doing 90% of the work, right? Getting help from AI, but you're
Yeah.
doing 90% of the work.
Yeah.
And that doesn't need to mean scary. 90% of the work for 30 minutes a week, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever that is. Um, know that you're going to stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it all's cool, and you're like, oh, look at all these people doing this
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Shiny
But at the
object.
same
Yeah.
time, I've hit a point where I can tell every single social post that's been AI created because they all, no matter what industry, they all look the same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, so now I just scroll past them because I'm like, oh my gosh,
And we're seeing that fatigue where people are like, okay, at
Mhm.
first it was kind of fun. It's like, oh, wow, you can do
Yeah,
that.
you can do
And
it. It's
now
so
it's
fun.
like, I want the authentic. And I think
Yeah,
that's important. Mortgage brokers have the advantage of being in their community, being able to, as we talked about, be a part of the community and bringing that into everything you're doing on social media and marketing, I think is important.
yeah. Be personal.
Be personal. What's the most underrated marketing channel?
um, okay, and I hate it, but I'm gonna say it. The phone.
Oh,
I don't think enough people understand that the phone is also not just a sales tool,
yeah.
it's a marketing tool.
Mm,
So when you think about happy birthday,
yeah.
whether it's a text, whether it's a phone call, you just hit them a little bit different than I think a lot of people nowadays do.
Yeah.
So going back to, we hear about kids going back to the flip phones and getting rid
The
of
rotary
smartphones and
phones,
stuff.
even. I was on a call
Yeah,
yesterday with someone that said, hey, I went and got a rotary phone. It's like, how do you even use
yeah.
that?
I know. Like, where do you plug that in? So, but I think that the phone, and it only lends to that personal, and it lends to hopefully we're getting back to more personal events and
Mhm.
more face to face, and even a Zoom call like this, or right, like count
Yeah.
is like it's personal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and it does feel that way because sometimes you're like, oh, do I have to call? Do I have to make the phone call? Can I just text them? Can I just,
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to do it every day. What about once a year on their birthday? What
Well,
about,
yeah, and make it a regular, Carl White is amazing in what he teaches to be able to, you make it part of your daily habits.
Mhm.
And Frank Gray, who heads up the loan officer breakfast club, and he called me, and I won't forget it because he called me last year on Christmas Eve, and I'm like, why the heck is Frank Ray calling me? And I answered the phone. I'm like, hey, buddy, what's up? And he's like, just want to call and wish you a Merry Christmas. I'm like, cool. You know, you don't have to call asking for something. You can just call just to call.
Yeah. And that makes it marketing, right?
And make it quick. Hey, just wanted to call and say Merry Christmas. No, you're busy, but was thinking about you. And it could be anything. It's like, hey, it's the middle of summer. Kids are heading back to school. Just wanted to say, hope you have a great end of summer.
Yeah.
That's
it can be for any reason, just a touch base. It felt very personal.
Yeah.
I say that you should be calling everybody in your database. And I know that to some, that could be a whole amount, right? Like you could have a lot of people in your database. And there's ways to filter it and things like that, right? But at the same time, you should be calling everybody in your database at bare minimum once a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you need to do a mortgage review, an annual mortgage review?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. That's 2 times a year, right? So.
And if you're really good, their anniversaries.
Yes.
I love
or if you have a good system that reminds you of their anniversary.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Systems are so important. It's very important. Okay. So I'm going to end with this. What is one marketing habit every broker should start tomorrow?
Sending 1 email a month.
Okay.
Right. And I have a good email, and I'll try to make it short because I know we're getting close on time. The one email I tell, especially independent mortgage brokers, right, is if you can sit down once a month and go through your closings, right, and figure out, run a report hopefully out of your LOS system. Maybe it's out of your CRM. If you have one, love it. If you can automate this, great. Is 4 to 6 months after somebody closes, right? If we haven't done a very good job of connecting with them, whatever, right? Is after that point, somewhere in between there, but definitely at least at month 6, if not before, send them an email reminding them that you exist, that you're here to answer their loan problems, questions, things like that. Yeah. And the email should say something along the lines of, you've hit 6 months, or you're going to hit 6 months if you're sending this early. And let me tell you, you're about ready to get a barrage of marketing that you can get a loan for a lower rate, because all the big box stores go buy that list at 6 months and they start marketing to those people. And you just want to be sure to say, I'm your expert. I know your financial situation. We just connected about it. So if you have questions about all these marketing pieces you're about ready to receive, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Number 1 email everybody should be sending.
I love it.
So
yeah, and it's simple to send an email like that, or if you want to go old school, you can even send, a quick little postcard or something.
Yeah.
So, different ways. The most important thing is to do it, have a system in place. Yep. And if you need help with that, we have great industry partners who can do that. So why don't we end with that? If anyone is looking for help in their marketing, how can they get in touch with you, Lyndsay?
I'll give you my email address.
Okay.
And it's Lyndsay, and that's LYNDSAY at Aduvo, and that's ADUVO.com.
Awesome. And of course, you can find all of our industry partners and strategic partners on our NAMB website. We have a drop down for that. And Lyndsay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for your support of NAMB. We appreciate all that you do. And for our listeners, thank you for tuning in. And if you like this episode, make sure and like us, share us, and subscribe to us. So thanks so much. And we'll see you on the next NAMB podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the NAMB Podcast, brought to you by the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. For more episodes, resources, and guest interviews, visit nambpodcast.com. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe.